make to move that this bill do now pass, and as this will be my last opportunity to address your Lordship's House on this particular bill, please just crave my indulgence for a couple of minutes. There are something like 92,000 care leavers in that 18 to 25 age bracket at any one time. Whilst it's hard to be precise how much this bill would cost, the best estimate is probably it would add something like £25 million a year to the total costs on the government. That would enable a young care leaver who is in receipt of universal credit to get an extra £80 a month, which is a quarter, 25% more than they currently get. It will be life-changing for them. It would make, I would argue, very little difference to the state of the nation's finances. Notwithstanding that, I do understand that this is not the way that governments like bills to be added to the Treasury, and fully anticipate that the noble lady, my good friend on the front bench, will say that in a moment or two. But I would urge, if there is any possibility of this being discussed in the other place, that be permitted, because I've learned so much about care leavers in the course of leading this bill through your Lordship's House. I've begun to realise just how much being in care adds a further adverse childhood experience to young people who've already, because they've got in care, probably had other adverse childhood experiences at an earlier stage. Their lot is, their life chances are typically poorer. We know some even make it into your Lordship's House, and that's fantastic, but many do suffer disadvantage well on into adult life. I'm very grateful for the support there's been all around the House at the earlier stages in this bill. I thank all noble lords who participated in that process. I'm very grateful for the charities, particularly Become and Bernardo's, who work very extensively with care leavers and young people in care, and even more for the young care leavers who came to Parliament for second reading and who met with me in advance of that and shared with me some of the challenges that they faced in making that transition from when the state has been their corporate parent to often being told they now have to live entirely independently at the age of 18. I'm also grateful to Sarah and Will in the Parliamentary Office of the Church of England here in Westminster, but also to my own staff, Abby and Anne and Lucy in my diocese in Manchester. And with that, I think I probably addressed your Lords long enough on this matter.
My Lords, once again, I would like to thank the Right Reverend Prelate and Bishop of Manchester for bringing this bill before your Lordship's House. As was said at second reading, we do support the sentiments behind the bill, which has raised awareness for care leavers and the struggles that they face. We all know how vulnerable those young people who leave care can be, and the challenges of transitioning into adulthood without the support that many others receive. As noble lords will be aware, care leavers who are over the age of 18 are entitled to claim universal credit on the same basis as those over 25-year-olds, but at a lower rate. Standardising the allowance payable is a noble cause that I know and we have heard that the Right Reverend Prelate cares very deeply about, and he is to be commended for his tenacity and his dedication to the cause. But finally, my Lords, to restate our position on the bill, we do believe that there does already exist a number of alternative provisions in place, such as the setting up home allowance. Extending the monetary support to care leavers, as this bill suggests, of course has fiscal implications, as has been highlighted. It will be up to His Majesty's government to decide whether or not the provisions of this bill are financially workable.
My Lords, I add my thanks to the Right Reverend Prelate and indeed my friend, the Bishop of Manchester, and I commend him for his work on this bill and for giving the whole House an opportunity to understand more about the experiences of care leavers and those indeed in the care system now. And I add my thanks to charities like Bernardo's and Become, and I had a real opportunity to speak with care experienced young people at events there, and again I learnt a lot from that, as I did with the discussions with the Right Reverend Prelate at earlier stages of the bill. My Lords, the Right Reverend Prelate is quite right that adverse childhood experiences are at the heart of that, and we recognise that many care leavers, because of those experiences they've had, are more likely to be out of education, employment or training, to be more likely to experience financial difficulty or health problems or homelessness. And although, as the Right Reverend Prelate rightly predicted, I'm not in a position to support his bill today, I just do want to say the government is determined to make sure we offer the right support to care leavers. We already offer a range of safeguards and specialist services to support them. Care leavers can get the under 25 can claim the local housing allowance rate of housing benefit. They can get specialist support with transitioning into adult claims, extra help in returning to education if they've missed out on that, and all kinds of support to help them to develop and get into jobs. But, my Lords, there is much more to do, and the Right Reverend Prelate is right to challenge us. The government's taking steps to improve support for care leavers and young people more widely. When the children's wellbeing and school bills come forward, we were looking to see how can we support care leavers to find accommodation and access local services. And through our youth guarantee, we'll help 18 to 21-year-olds all get access to quality training, apprenticeships, or to find work. But that's all for another day, my Lords. I just want to thank him and those who brought these issues before the House, to thank all noble Lords who've contributed, and I look forward to continuing to work on these issues as time goes on.
The question is that this bill do now pass. As many as are of that opinion will say content. The contrary not content. The contents have it.